Hello everybody, welcome back to X-Plane 11. My name is Micah, and today you'll be flying from Tampa International to Miami International. Now, some of you may be familiar with this route because I enjoy it quite a bit. I enjoy flying out of Tampa and landing in Miami, and I enjoy the scenery along the route. And it's not too difficult of a flight either, but it does add some, enough skill to keep me sharp. Of course, we'll be flying in the ZIBO 737-800 today, and we'll be using AviTab and Navigraph to help us get there with all of our information. I do have Ortho for XP installed. Let me show you what that looks like, which is, of course, we got some traffic coming in right now. Of course, it's not landing straight on the runway, so I have that live traffic, which is free and is great, but when they come in to land, they actually usually don't land on the runway, and we'll see that probably in a second. Anyway, so this is Navigraph Ortho 4XP. You can see that it's a pretty awesome textures. It's just image of the ground, satellite imagery built in with the overlay and everything, and he's actually not doing too bad. Normally, they don't even land on the runway at all, so props to him for even landing on the runway. So yeah, so we'll be able to see some of those textures here in Tampa as well as going into Miami. So we're going to go ahead and pop inside the cockpit here and get going. I already have it up and operational just a little bit just so I could get my fuel and everything loaded, so I don't have to worry about doing that. Let's go ahead and start the flight leg here. Get people jumping inside. And what we'll go ahead and do, go up here and turn on our nav switches. IRS to nav. That way we can go and get the alignment process started. I'll make sure that parking brake's already set. Go and flip the VH1 for mic selector. And make sure it is also on the Copilot as well. Fantastic. What I want to go ahead and do, though, is while this is all starting up, I want to go and tune to the AviTab and pull up the ATIS here, which, let's see. ATIS 128.47. So we'll go down here and switch to that to 8.47? Yes, 47. I can't really. 0.47. Oops. 47. There we go.
Tampa INTL information alpha. 1800 Zulu weather. Wind 110 at 8. Visibility more than 10. Rain. Sky conditions 4,000 few. 25,000 broken. Temperature 28. Dew point 12. Altimeter 3009. Arriving runway 10. Departing runway 10. Advise on initial contact, you have Alpha.
All right, so we got Alpha will be taking off runway 10, which means we'll have a little bit of a taxi to go, but that's okay. No problem. We're going to go pop down into the FMC here and get started and get this rolling. Actually, before I do that, let me go and turn on that. Auto seatbelt's going to come to on. Well, of course, it's on. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. On the route, we're going to go from Tampa to Miami. Flight number, let's see, let's pull up my flight plan here, and we'll see what that is. It is American Airlines Flight 374. American Airlines Flight 374. Flight number right there. I'll be taking off runway 10. And go into our performance initial page. Go and pull our gross weight and CG. Reserves are going to be about 2 tons plus 1.1 tons, so about 3.2 tons total reserve fuel for alternate as well as final reserves. So 3.2 for our reserves. 3.2, not 302. 3.2, and then cost index, we'll just put 30 in there. That'll be fine. Cruising altitude today is going to be 270. Go and execute that. And the winds, let's see what the winds are for our cruise. Next page. Next page. Next. Is it on this one? Nope. Next page. There we go. Top of climb. Pretty much what we're going to grab right here. And we're going to be climbing to 270. So it's going to be 273.031. So 273/031. Fantastic. Top of climb, OAT, which is the outside temperature, and that is going to be 28 or negative 28. Fantastic. Go on the N1 limits here. Obviously, we'll just pull the outside temperature, which is 28 degrees Celsius. Rather warm day here in Tampa. Got to take off. We're going to be taking off with flats, not 55, flats 5. And make sure we're going V1, VR, and V2, and put that so it automatically put those in here for us. Now we're going to be departing, of course, from runway 10. Now it wants me to take, I think it's the Gandhi 8 SID. So we'll use the Gandhi 8 SID, and we are going to transition through Sabi. So go ahead and put that in there. And then we're going to go direct to Barry. So go over here, and then we're going to go direct to Barry, Baary. Direct. I'm going to activate that. And once we get up there, we can go ahead and right now we're planned into runway 09. So we can go ahead and we can put that in there. We'll see what the actual active runways are when we get closer, and we may have to make some adjustments. So we're going to use ILS today. So ILS 09, and we are using the CYY1. Are we transitioning through any of those? No, we are not. So go ahead and execute that. And we'll go ahead and look at our legs page and look for any issues we might have. We got vectors right off the bat. That's fine. I'm going to show you guys how you don't have to delete those, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second once we get up out of here. So we'll go next, CYY, bring that up, execute. Going down, just checking, and runway 09, that's our landing. So before we go from there, though, we're going to go ahead and pop up and bring up our plan. And we're going to step through it here just to make sure nothing is crazy. So like that, for example. So let's zoom out here just a tad. And let's see what's going on here, or zoom in, sorry. So for some reason, DHP is wanting to bring us in, and then we're have to swing way out and then bring us back in. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I definitely have some issues with that kind of an approach. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring up the approach plate here for Miami. Approach. ILS is going to be 09. All right, so grit is the furthest out. So I see that, and I believe that is what we have in here as well, yes. DHP is this VOR, bringing this directly into this VOR. But if we did that, we would have to swing all the way back out and all the way back in, which honestly to me doesn't make a lot of sense unless we're having a lot of traffic in the area. In that case, we might even take a different approach into the area in the first place. So I am going to get rid of this DHP, bring grit up, and execute that. Now what that's going to do is bring us directly into grit. So we'll have a straight in approach instead of this weird looking pattern thing. And that looks fine to me. And then we have our go around. So I like that. I'm good with that now. So go back to map. And I'm just going to step through or check right now, just make sure all these altitudes and everything seem fine, which they do. So I'm good with that. I'm good with this for now. Now for my climb, I'm going to keep it as is. I'm not going to worry about changing the speeds or anything. Cruise, same thing. And of course, the descent I'll leave as the same as well. So we'll just bring up our reference and we'll leave it as such. Now that we've completed that, I'm going to go ahead and input my let's role play a little bit. Let's say I get an initial altitude of 6,000 out of Tampa. My V 2 is 46. My heading for runway 01 here at Tampa is, I believe it's 4 degrees. It could be 5 degrees, but let me pull this up. Nope. Sorry, I don't need the departure plate. I need the runway, just airport information. All right, so let's see if I can zoom in here. 01 left. I thought it would be in here. Apparently not. So what I can do is I can bring up the approach actually, and let's just say runway 1, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll be able to pull up and see exactly what the degrees is. So degrees for the runway itself is going to be, I think it's 007, but I want to verify that. I'm trying to remember where that is on the plate. I see this right here, but this is from this point. It's 007, but we'll go with that. Shoot, why not? So we'll just go with 007. All right, so 007 will be my heading bug here. Wait, I'm taking off runway 10. What am I doing? What am I doing? Obviously not paying attention to what my thing is calling for. Let's see what this one is. 097. Okay. Wow. That just happened. 097. That works for me. And my course, of course, my course is going to be the same. And same for the flight off the first officer as well. Fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and get my APU started up here. While I'm doing this, I'm going to go in here and variants. I'm looking for, yeah, I want these LEDs and both. Yep, that's what I wanted. We'll go and give a welcome aboard message. Actually, leave those off. These come on. These are going to come off. APU bleed's going to come on. Anti-collision lights on. And let's get our pushback going here.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Right there is fine.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
All right, so we got everybody strapped in back there. So we're going to be taking off here in a second. So I'm going to be taking off runway 10. So I'm going to be backing up, and we'll take taxiway Juliet Lima November to run 0, and I'll be taking off 10. Go ahead and enter my squawk here, which I'm making up because we don't have ATC. Let's do 3030. Why not? Turn my panel lights a little bit.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Just waiting for him to connect here. So we're going to be on RTO, of course, for auto brakes. Go ahead and check our flights, our flight surfaces as well. Make sure all that's reading correctly. So I've been adjusting my settings, trying to get higher frame rates. And I think I'm shooting at about 40 to 45 on average now, which is great.
Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Because before I was, you know, like in the 20s, and basically
And you may start engines.
I had to drop the AA as well as the reflection detail. Let's go ahead and get our engine started here. And 25, bringing it up to idle. Looking good. Wait for this to pap. There we go. Wait for this to stabilize. And we'll go with number 2. Or number 1. I should say. We started number 2 first. Give it some gas. Flight directors can go and come on here. We're going to switch this to both. Put it to continuous. Logo light's going to come on. And this can go to auto and bring the left and right packs back online. APU bleed can come off. APU can come off. Oh, shoot. Forgot to put on generator first.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake.
And parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Disconnect, please.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have fun up there.
I appreciate it. See you next time. So you see, when we take off here, we fly basically runway heading, and then we're going to make, let's say they're going to give me a vector to 210. I'll make a 210 turn and then hit Gandhi. All right, we got the hand signal. Release that parking brake, and we'll go ahead and apply just a little bit of throttle here to get us going. Ladies and gentlemen from the deck, appreciate you flying with American Airlines today. We're taxiing now to runway 10. We'll be taking off here momentarily. We are the first in line for takeoff. Once we take off, we may hit some choppy air on the way up, so if you would, please stay seated and keep your seatbelts securely fastened until we notify you otherwise. Once again, I appreciate you flying with American Airlines, and we'll keep you updated as we get up into our cruise so that we can allow you to take your seatbelts off. Thank you so much, and once again, thanks for flying American. I'll make this left turn here onto, I believe it's Juliet. Yep, onto Juliet. And there's something in the way. Of course there is. Let's see here. That's really strange. Sounds like they need to have some fixes in the works. So we're going to have to go through this concrete barrier, which I believe is supposed to be the beginning and end of a tunnel or something. I don't know. So something's not right there, but it is what it is. We'll just ignore it and go through it. Totally not strange at all. Of course, there's some type of bump it feels going through the concrete barrier. I think you hell of it more than a bump, though. Go and set our flaps for takeoff here. Arm or auto throttle. And the weather just updated. And onto taxiway November. En route to 10. Go and turn our TCAS TARA. It's operational. Go ahead and get our position and strobes on. Wing and willows coming on. Landing lights coming on. Taxi lights coming off. VNAV to LNAV coming on. And I believe everything looks good for takeoff here. Probes coming on. That's right. All right. Gonna clear right, clear left. Gonna enter the runway, and we'll get on out of here, out of Tampa. Keeping that nose down. 80 knots. Releasing nose pressure. Putting slight backward pressure on the yoke. And we're up. Bringing the gear up. Flaps come up 1. Do a heading select now. Go ahead and adjust our heading now. Oops. Come on now. There we go. And switch it over to 210. And flaps coming all the way up. That's coming off. This is going to off. Wheel well's coming off. I'll continue to 210 here. Look at that. I was really close to getting it right on the money. So, cool deal there. Again, initial altitude 6,000 feet. We'll bump that up as we continue to climb, as we quote-unquote get the clearance from departure. And we'll say we just got clearance to proceed up to our cruising altitude of 27,000. And switch over to LNAV. And you can see that what that did is you allowed us to do the vectors just like you normally would. And you do that, manually fly it, and then once you've met that goal of hitting that point flying out of the runway, which is usually really fast, actually. Once you hit that point, you can go ahead and move on to the actual waypoints. So it's just a little note there. You don't have to remove the vectors if you don't want to. If you want to, if you want to simulate that ATC is telling you to do certain things, you can do that. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but, you know, I guess that happens when you don't use a checklist. So I hope you guys have had a wonderful week so far. I have had a very interesting week. It's been different, that's for sure, but not unenjoyable. We'll go ahead and pop outside so you can see the view while we're flying here a little bit. And that's ortho. It's all ortho scenery, which is satellite imagery with X-Plane 11 autogen scenery on top of it, and all the overlays, which is why that runway, that thing was over the taxiway. Yep, going through the clouds now. Got little bumps going on. Go ahead and kill our landing lights off. Our wings could come off as well. Now we're going to switch to our auto now. Pass through 10,000 feet. Oops, wrong button. Well, let's switch back to the cabin real fast so we can kind of see what it looks like back here. God. Nice little view here. Let's see here. I believe I don't have them on, but I was looking to see if I had the... Nope. Passengers. There you go. Show them. Look at him. This dude's staring me down cold. This guy looks a little afraid. I don't know. And look out the right wing. All right. Should be a relatively smooth flight here. I think my sound is set too low. 1 second here. There we go. There we go. for some reason it had gotten changed in the Windows mixer, gotten reduced. Should be a relatively easy flight here. Since we are getting close to top of cruise, or top of climb, we're going to go ahead and bring up, I was going to bring up something and now, oh, that's right, I was going to bring up this. So we don't need that anymore, don't need that anymore. So this is what we're going to be flying. So we're going to be flying the ILS 110.9. And where's the, there it is. So we're going to be flying 110.9. It's that right there. And then the Dolphin VOR is 113.9. And that's going to be important in case we ever needed to switch over for some reason. What was it? 113.9. And use that. We have that option. Do the same over here. All right. You see your little markers now. So what we're going to look for here is our degree is going to be 092. So our course will be 092. And we'll do that on both those. Heading, of course, is going to be 092 as well. Let me go ahead and move that seatbelt sign off. And we're going to turn on my wing and engine anti-ice because we are in negatives now. So I think everything goes well. We'll be flying in, hit 3,000 at Grit, down to 1,500 at INUS. Probably assist a little bit on this approach, but we'll see how that goes. So ILS approach, our decision altitude is 207, barometric 200 radio, and we'll be using barometric pressure per the usual. And was it 207? Oops. Well, I had it on the radio. Let's go ahead and set it for radio then. .200 radio, and then barometric will switch to 207. Now, some airliners have different policies on the minimums. Some require that the minimums actually be, like, they add on to the minimums and stuff for safety purposes, and that is what it is. But I'm not part of any airline, so I'm just going to keep it on the bare minimums. So let's go ahead and go around procedures here in case we need to. So we're going to be, if we do a missed approach, we're going to climb to 8,000 feet initially and then continue climbing and making a right turn to 3,000 feet direct to the VKZ or the Virginia Key VOR and hold. And continue to climb and hold the 3,000 feet and just maintain that, basically circling until we get cleared for the approach again. And the way you're going to do that is once we get close and we start getting onto our approach, we'll switch off of the Dolphin VOR. Once we have the ILS is pinging onto our aircraft, we'll switch off the Dolphin VOR and switch to the Virginia Key VOR. That way we can activate that if we need to on the way out. Now the arrival ATIS is going to be 119.15, and we are definitely going to be implementing that. That way we can hear what the active runways are, just in case I'm going to have to change my runways. Of course, I'm not in range yet, but it's set there, so when I get into range, I'll immediately hear the ATIS. And we'll go and make our crab and crew now. Our call.
Fairly smooth ride today. We have the seatbelt sign turned off, and while you're seated, we do ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened about you at all times in case we encounter unexpected bumpy air. And we do thank you for flying with us on American.
And there it is. Now we've hit our cruising altitude. We're going to set our altitude now down to our intercept altitude of 1500. And we're just cruising now. So yeah, it's been an interesting week so far for me. Hope you guys had a good one. I will be, of course, creating the next video, which hopefully will be the ZIBO 737 cold dark startup update video per the requests of, I think, the 30-something odd voters who voted on the poll in the community tab. If you don't know about that, on my YouTube, go to my channel, and you'll see a tab that says community. You click that and you'll see all the posts I've made, all the text posts and polls and images and stuff like that, and kind of keep an update on how the channel's going that way. If you haven't already, you can obviously join the Flight Club membership program. That Flight Club membership program gives you a couple things. Gives you some cool emojis and icons next to your names as you proceed monthly up in the ranks. And you also get access to the, of course, Flight Club only Discord, which allows you to communicate with me on a almost 24/7 basis. And that allows a more one-on-one communication between me and you, the supporters that I greatly appreciate. And of course, we already have some supporters as well, which includes Captain Smitty and Music. I appreciate both of y'all for already supporting me and allowing me to continue to do this and hopefully help y'all out in the process. So if you're interested in that, there's a couple ways you can do that. There's a join button at the bottom of this video. Click that join button and it'll walk you through the process, or just go to my channel and you'll see a join button there as well. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe and hit that bell notification to make sure you get the up-to-date notifications when I upload videos so that you can enjoy them. And of course, hit that like button and comment below with your questions or comments, and I will do my best to answer them and appreciate any comments, of course, as always, just as long as they are civil. And those likes and comments help in the YouTube algorithm to help my videos continue to get suggestions for those who are out there who may be needing some assistance. We are getting close now to our top of descent, about 26 miles away. And in preparation for this descent, we are going to do nothing because we've already done it all, pretty much. And let's see, I wanted to bring up the, yes, approach again. So the field elevation is 9 feet. That's important to note. So runway 09 is the long runway here at Miami. It is the far right runway. Still waiting for the ATIS to pop on to see if that is still going to be our runway today. Let's go ahead and bring up the meter here and see what. So we're getting winds actually out of 090, which is 9, at 13 with gusts up to 18 knots. So we got winds basically coming directly at us at 13 knots with gusts up to 18 knots. And that's important to note because we're getting that extra lift on our approach. And of course, with that gust coming in, our indicated airspeed will show, for example, if we're, see what they're referencing for 30 flaps, 145 knots. But in reality, we'll probably be flying more like 130 knots, actually with ground speed. So you actually get some benefits there with those winds coming directly at you. But do have to be careful with that, with the gusts, but gusting up to 18. That can give you a little bit extra lift that you may not be expecting randomly. So you might want to think about that as we come in here into the area and into the landing, to keep that in mind. maybe go a tad slower than I normally would, just in case we do get those gusts. Everything's looking pretty good so far. No major issues that I have come across today. We're going to start decelerating here in preparation for our descent. And we'll go ahead and let them know we'll be descending here. So flaps and speed, of course, we're going to be flying at, we're going to be doing 30 degrees flaps. And our speed, we're going to set it 1 knot below that and get that in there. Wind correction actually is plus 5 knots, so I actually need to add, so 149. So 30/149. Well, that should bring us in relatively nice and easy. We are about 60 miles away from the airport at this point. Starting our descent now into the area. So this scenery is not ortho for XP. This is standard X-Plane 11 scenery. You'll see the difference when we get into the area with ortho. It looks a lot more variable and a lot more realistic, of course. Now we're starting our descent now. Go and switch these to continue as well. Seatbelts coming on, constant. Still waiting for the Aegis to pop up. Looking like 3008 will be our altimeter. So I'm not mistaken, is the same. Actually, it's close to the same, so it's 2 below. I'm guessing it's requesting drag. Yes, it is. So we'll go ahead and bring a little bit of speed brake in here. Try to slow us down a little bit. I'm not obviously fully deploying it. You don't want to do that. You could damage your speed brakes. So you can see this line right here. This is the edge of the Ortho XP and the X-Plane 11 Auto Gen scenery difference right there. I still haven't downloaded this area yet. Eventually I will, but it's just not high priority, and sometimes it does take a while for those sceneries to load. Oh, not load, download. And about to hit 18,000 feet. Switch over from standard to our actual altimeter here. And it's going to be 3008. Go and turn off our anti-ice now. And the reason to have that on, we are above the freezing temperatures, so go and kill those spoilers, or sorry, not spoilers, speed brakes. What is it showing now? 145 still, okay. Everything is looking fine. As you can see, there is the ortho box that has been downloaded. Looking good, looking good. Still haven't picked up the ATIS. Is it active? 19.150. Interesting. 119.150. Not sure why it's not pulling up, but no, there it is. Of course.
1900 Zulu weather. Wind 080 at 11. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 4,300 scattered. Temperature 27. Dew point 16. Altimeter 3008. Arriving runways 09. 08 left, departing runways 12, 08 right. Advise on initial contact you have Bravo.
All right, we've got Bravo. Slowing down to the 240. And we'll go and turn on our landing lights. Ladder up all the way. Auto brakes, we'll go ahead and set it to 2. And yeah, everything's looking pretty good. Once we get about 20 out from, well, probably more like 10 out from gritty, we're going to reduce speed to about 220 knots or so. Even though we're only flying at 227 right now, but it's going to pop back up to 240 here in a second. Oh, we got traffic right out in front of our nose. Look at that thing go. Didn't show up on our TCAS. Alright, we're going to switch now to the ILS frequency. This is going to change to 117, what was it, 0.1. 7.1. Everything's looking pretty good. No change on our approach, of course, no change on our runway. All right, we're going to go and set speed here. And we're going to bring this down to 220 knots. Actually, let's bring it down to 210. Get that vertical speed going as well. A little bit of speed break out here, slow us down. Increase vertical speed just a little bit. Trying to get down onto that our descent path here. And there it is. So bring that back up. little bit of bumpiness coming in here right now. And we hit the ILS, got the ILS now. So what we'll do now is we'll actually go ahead and switch back to VNAV, and we'll do a drop flaps to 1. Once I hit grit, what I want to be is I want to be at flaps 10. Or is it, I think it's grit. Yeah, grit. Flaps 2. A little bumpy coming down here through the clouds. And bring to flaps 5. And coming through the clouds. Bring this down to 10. Not quite seeing the airport yet. I think it may be over here. Yeah, I think it's that right over there. Yeah, there it is. I think that's our runway right there. Fantastic. Kind of bumpy coming in here today. See the autopilot fighting it a little bit. That's okay. As long as everything works properly in the end. And arm my speed brakes. Speed brakes armed. Flaps 5. Let's go flaps 10 now. Landing lights are on. Runway's off. Taxi's coming on. Logos on. Steady position. Those are all good. Everything looks good down here. Verified frequency 110.9. Go around frequency 117.10. Altitude still at 1500 until we get established on the localizer. Go and activate the approach phase. All right, on final approach, going to go drop flaps 15. Gear's going to come down. Waiting for that getting established and locked here onto the localizer. Once we've captured, I'm sorry, we're already established. Once we capture the glide slope is what I meant to say. Once we've captured that glide slope, we'll go down to flaps 30, do a landing checklist, and then land this thing on the ground. Hopefully all goes well. Waiting for this to get glide slope and glide slope captured. Going flaps 30 and go around out to 3,000 feet. Go around set. Bring this down to 149. Thousand feet.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
And I have the aircraft. And get that nose thing. Get that 3 degrees. It's quite bumpy up here today. Quite bumpy indeed. Feeling those gusts. Feeling those gusts. And continuing. I hear ya, I hear ya. I'm fine. Continuing. Flare, flare. Come on, come on. Come down. Come down. There we go. Reversers.
knots.
And take the high speed here. TCAS coming to alt off. Come on. Go overhead here. He's coming to regular. Wings coming off and clear stay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Miami International. From the flight deck again, once again, appreciate you joining American today for the flight. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight and enjoyed the landing as well. And be sure to choose America next time, wherever your destination may take you. Go ahead and get the APU started. A little bit long of a landing. There was a gust at the end that really kind of grabbed me. But that is okay. We made a safe landing, and ultimately that is what matters. So I hope you guys enjoy the flight today. Hope you will continue to watch, and hopefully we'll watch some other videos as well besides this one. And you'll continue to be an active viewer. Looking at the analytics on my videos, only about 10% of those who watch my videos have subscribed. That tells me that if you're watching this, you have a 90% chance that you have not subscribed to my channel. And if you like what you saw today, obviously if you don't like it, you do not have to subscribe. There's no obligation, of course. But if you did like it, I would very much appreciate you subscribing to my channel, which is absolutely free, of course. And just let you know whenever I upload other videos you might like as well. My goal for April is to hit at least 1,450 subscribers, 1,450, and I'm getting close to that goal. If you could help me get there, I'd appreciate it. And we'll be parking here next to the Southwest 737 today. And bring her on in here for a nice, gentle stop. And set. Switching to APU. Engine 2's cut off. Engine 1's cut off. Seatbelt's coming off. Valves coming on. And this is switching to steady. Logo's coming off. Collision's coming off. And ignore that. All right, well, that pretty much does it. Let's go ahead and end today's video with a external view of our landing gear. Oh, I guess I should probably play it. Once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, join, all that fun stuff. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time up in the sky.